I'm Dave Hill, the HSSE Manager for the UK SSD division of TSG UK. My topic that I'm going to talk to you about today is near misses, or more importantly, reporting near misses. There's lots of different terms that are used to refer to near misses, but please don't get too confused with all those. I'm going to explain what I think are the four most commonly terms used around near miss reporting later on as we go through this topic. For some of you, I appreciate that this may just be a refresher. Some people, it may just clarify a few things, but for quite a few, it may be something new. You've never heard the terms near misses or how to report them, what they are, etc. But hopefully, by the end of this presentation, we will all know what a near miss is, how to report it, and why it's important that we report these near misses. I will keep on stressing throughout this presentation the importance of near miss reporting, and the importance is that each and every term, whichever term that you use, they could all lead to an accident, and that's the thing that we want to prevent. So I'll start the presentation by just referring to a few of the terms that you may have used around near misses. We've got near miss itself. Some people you may hear call it a narrow squeak, a close call, unsafe condition, unsafe act, a close shave, a potential incident, or a narrow escape. But they all refer to the same thing, more or less. But what the important thing is that they could all lead to an accident, and that's what we want to prevent, what we want to stop. We've gone through some of the most common terms. I want to focus on what I consider to be the four most common phrases around near miss reporting. So firstly, we're going to start with the unsafe condition. So this, as it says there, a condition or a situation which, if left unrectified, could well lead to an accident. So we have some examples, maybe an open chamber, you've taken the manhole cover off, you've not got any barriers around it, you've got no sentry there, that's an unsafe condition. Overloaded electrical sockets, cracked, damaged or frayed cables, electrical cables, a rusty spigot on a crane lifting sling, a faulty rung on a ladder like we can see here, or the faulty motor shaft like on this piece of equipment like we can see here. But again, that's an unsafe condition, but please remember they could all lead to an accident. The next thing then, moving along, is an unsafe act. So this is something that a person does that could cause an accident. So it could be removing safety devices, moving guards off of machinery. It could be using tools or equipment without the correct authority. It could be walking under a suspended load, or it could be using a defective piece of equipment. Like we see here, the guy using the defective ladder because of the faulty rung, or the guy using the equipment here, even though we know it's got a faulty motor shaft. Then we move on to near misses. So the definition of a near miss is an unplanned event that did not result in injury, illness or damage, but had the potential to do so. Only by sheer luck, a fortunate chain of a break in the chain of events stopped that near miss from hurting someone, causing property damage. Again, like I said earlier, there's lots of different terminology around near misses, and depending on who you work for, the contractors, the clients that we work for, you could hear a close call, a close shave, a narrow escape, a narrow miss, but they are all the same thing. Something's happened, but only by luck has that something not hurt or injured someone. So we see here, the guy's used the faulty equipment, faulty ladder, the rung's broke. Luckily, he's been able to grab hold, he's caused no injury. The machine here, we've used a faulty machine, even though it's got a faulty motor shaft. The faulty motor shaft flew off. Luckily, it's not hit the chap here, so that's a near miss. Then moving on from that, we obviously have the accident. The person's used the faulty ladder, he's fell off, injured himself. The guy's used a faulty piece of equipment, the faulty motor shaft flew off and it's hit the guy there, causing the accident. So earlier, I said that in my opinion these were the four most common phrases around this topic, and hopefully you can now understand why I want to concentrate on these four terms. We have potentially 3 catch points, 3 safety points where we can stop the accident from occurring. If we spot the unsafe condition, whether it be the faulty motor shaft or the faulty rung, then we can stop the unsafe act, the near miss, the accident from occurring. If we fail to spot the unsafe condition, but we see the unsafe act, then again we can stop the near miss, we can stop the accident. Failing that, we fail to spot the first 2 conditions, but we see the near miss, then we can act on that near miss, investigate it, stop the accident from occurring. And then finally, if we do miss all 3, there will be an accident, hence the reason why we need to report near misses. It goes without saying this is just a broken down, simplified method of what we can see, but probably the most common terms that we use: the unsafe condition, the unsafe act, and the near miss. But like I said before, with stress, we want to stop the accident. That's the whole point behind near miss reporting. So why we want you to report everything that you see? We've just discussed the four most commonly used terms, but TSG, we want you to report everything, whether it's the unsafe fact, the unsafe condition, the near miss, whatever it is, we want you to report it. Firstly and foremost, it's the law. Yeah. The law states that you have to report any shortcomings in health and safety arrangements and report any dangerous situations. So these are some of the most commonly seen near misses, unsafe acts that we see on forecourts. Site's not having a visitors book, so you can't sign into site. If there was a fire or emergency, who knows who's inside that building. Blocked fire escapes. Again, if there's an emergency, how are you going to get out of the building? We see faulty manhole covers, loose manhole covers, again, posing trip, slip and fall hazards. Drainage missing, again, could be a trip, slip, fall hazard, but the eco drainage, it could become blocked. Any potential contaminated runoff could run off the forecourt and contaminate the water, the main water sewers. We have loose or uneven forecourt, again, slip, trip, fall hazards. Leaking canopy roofs, again you've got water leaking from the canopy, there could be diesel spills, it could make it more slippery underfoot, but also you've got water near an electrical source. People filling measure cans up incorrectly. This is the correct way with a measure can on the floor, but we see a lot of it on site where people are holding them in the air, or even not having a proper container, filling a pop bottle. Again, it could cause a fire explosion risk. People on construction sites using mutes that are not tall enough, so they stand on the railings. Again, that's an absolute no-no. Positioning diggers at an unsafe angle. The potential of that to tip over is obviously quite high. And people cutting concrete or whatever it is without the correct PPE, no glasses and no face mask. So that's the first reason why we want you to report everything that you see regarding near misses. Secondly, and most importantly for me, and hopefully for you, is that we want to act upon the near misses and stop those near misses from becoming an accident, like I've kept on stressing throughout this presentation. If you don't report any faults with processes, equipment, plants or tools, then we can't do anything about them. If you report them, we can act on them and stop them from becoming a possible accident. These are some things that we've had reported over the past 3-4 years. We had a tool for removing canister filters, it wasn't suitable, it kept breaking, so you reported it as a near miss, we changed the tool in, a lot better tool. We have this near miss reported from one of our guys, an IDC container on top of an above ground tank, using the above ground tank for the height, for it to be gravity fed. If someone drove off with that in their vehicle, it could quite easily pull that off and cause a massive accident, potentially could kill someone if someone was underneath it. We reported that to the site, they've repositioned their container and they bought a pump to pump it from ground level so they're not relying on gravity feed. And another one that we had a near miss reported where a hand dryer in a toilet was positioned right above the electrical socket. We reported this to the client. This then got sent out worldwide. This was from a snapshot from a presentation that they used for Europe, Asia, Middle East. So you report near misses, we will act on them. What we need to make sure that you all are is make sure that we're all alert on site, be vigilant and report any and all potential risks, whether it's an unsafe act or an actual near miss itself. Yeah, we want to look out for one another, look out for the workmates, make sure that we're all safe, we all get to go home to our loved ones. Whether that's reporting them for not wearing PPE, intervening, telling them to wear their safety helmet, their safety glasses, their goggles, whatever it may be. Because at the end of the day, if they don't wear PPE, they could suffer scarring or potential loss of life, life-changing injury, whatever it may be. By intervening and on your workmates, it's not grassing on them, it's not getting in the trouble, it's looking out for them, making sure that they go home safe and sound to the people that they love each and every night, and that's the ultimate message. Just to reinforce what I've said about the near miss reporting, a guy called Heinrich did a study some time ago, looked at all the statistics, all the accidents, injury statistics, reports, and found that there was a ratio between the at-risk behaviours and the fatalities. He found that there were 300,000 at-risk behaviours, unsafe acts, unsafe behaviours, which would result in one fatality. That also meant that 3,000 near misses would result in that one fatality. So think about this then. TSG, we've got 300 employees. We've got just under, maybe 260 employees. Yeah. So all it takes is for each of us to walk past that one near miss 10 times, shrug our shoulders 10 times. That means one of us, 3,000 near misses, that means one of us is going to die if we don't report that near misses. The whole reason behind reporting near misses, we can stop that fatality, stop that accident from occurring. So, to confirm, previous slides, please report, stop, have a look around site, report those unsafe acts, those near misses, so that we can stop the accident from occurring. Every time we walk by one and we don't report it, that knocks another one off that. Yeah, the fatality becomes more of a realistic problem. So, not reporting that near miss then, again, just to try and make a sobering thought here, how would you feel if you failed to report an unsafe condition or an unsafe act or a near miss that ultimately led to your workmate becoming seriously injured? Probably something like this. So, like I said, our ultimate goal is we want to stop a near miss from becoming an accident, and TSG's mission statement, our ultimate goal, make sure that everyone goes home safe each and every single day to their loved ones. So how can we report everything that we just highlighted then, whether it be a near miss, a potential incident, an unsafe act, whatever it may be, we want you to report everything. Yeah? The best way is by filling in your app on your tablet. The service engineers have all got the app on the tablet. Your construction boys, there's a near miss form in the site file. If the tablet's faulty and you can't report the near miss on your tablet, or the form's missing in the construction site file, we just want to make sure that you report it to the health and safety manager, whether it be me or my counterpart Neil, as fast as you can, the quickest way that you can. That's how we want you to report it to us. Whether that's emailing us, texting us, or using a near miss booklet, or even just calling us, just make sure that you tell us ASAP so we can log it and get the ball rolling to how we can stop that from becoming an accident. If you do see a near miss or potential accident, a potential incident, unsafe act, whatever it is on site, yes, we want you to log it with us obviously, but make sure that you tell site as well, because it may be something that's in their control that they can rectify faster than what we could. This is the near miss, how it comes across if you do the near miss app on your tablet, comes across like this, to myself and Neil via email. And then you've got, this is what the construction file, near miss form looks like in the construction file. Dealing with reporting near misses then, how do we deal with them? Well, every near miss that you report to me and Neil is logged in our system on Kimos, and we do not close it down until it's actioned, whether that's by TSG ourselves or whether we pass it on to our clients. If it's a Romtech site or a Jet site, then as soon as we log that near miss on our system, the health and safety person responsible at that company gets an email containing the exact information that we've just inputted into Kimos. Shell, again, we log them all in our system, but we also log them onto the Vinci website immediately, so they can see those near misses as soon as we log it onto their website. We also have to do a more in-depth investigation on 10% of those near misses, so if we report 40 near misses on a Shell site in 1 month, that means we have to do an in-depth investigation on 4 of those each month. Again, they get passed on to the HSSE Manager at Vinci for the Shell contract. Co-op, we log the near misses onto their, what they call My Safety. It's their app, we log that immediately on their app, and we also send a report monthly to them as well. Likewise with Eurogarage, Park, Moto, and any other dealer group sites, we send them a report monthly with all the near misses on there. Construction sites, the near misses that you log on the construction site are dealt with there and then by the site manager, and then they are relayed, passed on to the client in accordance with whatever it says in the contract. Any near misses that are deemed imminently dangerous, we escalate to the area manager immediately so they can be actioned ASAP. And any near misses that are logged against TSG, whether it be tools, processes, procedures, equipment, they're passed on to the relevant head of department for them to action. And like I said, we don't close them down until we action them. Incentives, so just to reinforce again TSG's importance, the importance that we put on reporting near misses, we've also got 2 bonuses, 2 incentives that are open to everyone at TSG, and again we want to make sure that we stop today's near miss from becoming tomorrow's accident. So the 2 bonuses that we have are: 1, it's a completely monthly random draw, which is for £100. If we have 100 near misses in 1 month, then I quite simply ask my daughter, pick a number between 1 and 100, whatever number it is, that's who wins the near miss. It's just random and as easy as that. The second one that we have is a quarterly bonus for £500, and this is decided on, it's picked by the senior management team. There are two caveats to this, however. If you get picked out, to get selected for this senior management team bonus, you have to put in your near miss, take the extra time and put good recommendations for eliminating or reducing that hazard. Then finally, if you don't get selected, you have to prepare a toolbox talk. Prepare the toolbox talk and deliver it on the toolbox talks that we have in that month, obviously related to the near miss that you've just reported. So that concludes my talk presentation on near miss reporting. If anything, I just want to make sure that you all realise the importance of reporting the near misses, whether it's an unsafe act, unsafe behaviour, whatever it may be, report it so we can stop that from becoming an accident. Thank you.